Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. I'm making this video to try to discuss a little bit better about some of my invention ideas. And these inventions are my antenna, or shall I say my tower TV idea, my smelly telly device idea, as well as my polydio device. Let me start out with my what I call tower TV as opposed to antenna TV, because I think antenna TV itself should be left alone. I don't think there should be any changes. So people who are getting a lot of free channels, if they're lucky enough on their antenna TV, then that's great. And I don't think that part should be messed with at all. Okay. And of course, I've also heard on the news that they're sending up these satellites and everything like that up into outer space to get to rural areas and other areas that are inaccessible right now as far as TV, internet, and all that stuff. Well, although I think that's a great idea, and I'm glad that they're doing that, I still think that, number one, it's very expensive to send these satellites up into outer space. I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars, as well as the fact of, I still think that the pricing is probably going to be as high as it already is. So even if you can get these signals out in your area, if you can't afford it, then it doesn't do you any good. So that's why I still think that some brave companies out there should create a new, even though it's going to be based on the whole antenna system, but yet call it Tower TV. And have it be, instead of, okay, let me see if I can explain this. Basically, instead of wasting one signal, say like if it's a UHF or VHF or whatever, this one signal on just one station, why not use the strength and capacity of this signal to package a whole bunch of channels into one, like in a digital form, right? They're created, this company's gotten up with all these different networks and all this stuff, and they've created all these channels. All right, they get them all combined into one file, even though, each one is going to have its own code and all that when it reaches its destination, its final destination, shall I say. Okay, but it's all going to be combined together and compressed and all that, okay? And it's going to use that one signal, okay, to send all this information out. You know what I mean? So hopefully it will be a good, strong signal, which of course they can make up for that by putting up, more towers or whatever. And my hope and goal for this idea would be for them to pop up all these different towers, in different locations. Nothing that's going to invade people's, personal areas or whatever, but they can still be set up just like in town, like they're doing with these 5G towers, whatever, for the cell phones and all that. Well, they can still set some of these other towers up in these areas, just like they're, some do with the whole regular antenna transmissions or whatever. Well, they can, put these towers out there and have these different substations set up and whatever, okay? All right. Just make the best of the signal. Even, okay, let's just say all right, here's two ways that they could probably do this. All right, one way is they could find a signal that nobody else is using, like no other stations, no other networks, nothing. Like one signal that's everywhere, like that will reach, if you set up the towers, that signal will reach, everywhere, whatever, and they can buy the license for that signal and use that signal to send this information, or they can find out what is available in each area, like whether it be a whole state or just a whole area or whatever. They can buy licenses in each area for a certain signal and they can set up their towers and everything and send this information. Like it starts from one main area, right, where it's all created and everything, or maybe, there may be other areas too, like backup or whatever. But anyway, they can send they can have this set up, and they can send these the signal, and even though it might change, say, like, let's just say you start out at I don't know, 105.1, you can use that that particular channel, station, whatever, shall I say, signal, whatever, okay? You can send your signal out on that, okay? And then when it reaches its receiver, and then it's ready to be transmitted somewhere else, well, then it might have to change to, 104.8 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it might have to change up, according to the area, but still the basis is the main signal will still be, it will still be set up and sent out to these different areas. Oh, God, I hope I'm making sense. But I hope you can get what I'm trying to say here, But anyway, and of course, also the internet will be thrown into this signal, or they can buy a separate signal for the internet thing. But anyway, in my idea, I envision the whole package thing being, cheap and, affordable for the average person. And even like I said, you can buy if you go and buy the box, like the box itself that you'll be having in your home or whatever, if you buy that TV box, you will still be guaranteed some free channels, although they will probably, be heavily ad-based, I'm sure. And like I have stated about the whole banner ad, like that YouTube already uses for like their stuff. Like every time you click on a video, you will see these banners, these, translucent or whatever banners pop up on the videos and whatever. You will probably have to deal with that and all that. But if you just go up, say, like to $10, the next package or whatever, it would still be great, and it would be affordable, and, you will be able to do that. You know what I mean? So, and then, like I said, each place that you move to will be different. Like, they will set up different substations in different areas. Like, let's just say southern areas like Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, whatever, their TV, especially like the local stuff, it's going to be different than, say, like up in Wisconsin or Canada or Mexico or whatever, or California or whatever. There's going to be differences in the local stuff, and some programming. But still, let's say you move from Alabama to Wisconsin or California or whatever. You will still get the main major networks, like, all the major networks that are involved in the package that you've got, that will still be available. But yet the local, what is considered local stations or local, broadcasting or whatever would be different, so that, which that would be cool. I mean, naturally, if you move to Wisconsin, you're going to want to pick up, stuff related to that area. I mean, so, and especially, like your local TV stations and stuff, news stations and all that, you're going to want to get that from that area, so, but anyway, that's how I envision that being done. I feel like it's very doable. I may be very, very naive about this, and, but I feel like it can be done, it just all depends on file size. Like, how big is the file going to be, as opposed to the wavelength of the signal and how fast per second, that signal goes out and all that stuff. I mean, they have to consider all those things. But I feel like, well, hey, if the cable company can do it and satellite companies can do it, they can use one signal or whatever to, even though, as far as the cable, it's wired, but the satellite isn't, and they're using a signal to send all that information to your device or whatever, to your receiver up on your roof. if they can do it, then this can be done easily, just easily. I just feel like it can be done. I'm too stupid to do it, but there's people out there that are very smart that can do it, okay? All right, but anyway, moving on. All right, my next thing has to do with my smelly telly thing. I thought about this, and like I've stated in previous videos, I feel like it can be done. It just would take knowledge as far as coding, and there's some really smart people out there that know about coding, that know about PHP, all this stuff, okay? Basically, in my mind, just let's use YouTube for instance. If you're on YouTube and you've created a video and you're filling out the online form, and you're setting up your timers as for when you want sent codes to be sent out to the device and everything. You set all that up because you know what's going on in your video, or even if you're doing a live video and you're kind of estimating when you're going to be holding orange or whatever, or smelly dog or whatever, and you want that code to be sent out during your video, then, I feel like it can be done, even though it will have to use, if you're going to be setting your device up for the internet, it's going to have to use like HTML, CSS, all that type of thing, in order for it to actually be done, because it's kind of going to be working, your device is kind of going to be working like a web page, basically. Like, you're here at YouTube, all right, you're dealing with a web page, you're filling out your information, you're using HTML, CSS, whatever, whatever coding they use to create the form that you're going to be doing. Okay, that will send an actionable code to your device that is going to be picking that code up and reacting according to the codes that are sent to it. Okay, so that's basically how that can be done, and I feel like that's a walk in the park for somebody who knows programming and coding. I'm trying to learn, but I still, I got a long way to go. I mean, I just, there's just some things that I'm having trouble actually getting, and it's just going to take a long time for me. And I realize that, but there are people out there that will pick this up like that. I mean, this is very doable. I mean, but anyway, that's for that. Okay. And then of course the whole PolyDeo, that can be done through, using the same type of system that is being used with Alexa and all this artificial intelligent listening programs or whatever. I mean, that would be nothing to create as well. Like someone who knows about programming, who's in that field or whatever, who's, worked for Google, worked for whatever, that knows how to create that stuff, they could create this device and they could set it up to react to sound and all that type of thing. And of course, the difference between Smelly Telly, which, like I said, I don't know if I would go with that name or not, because I know Nickelodeon used that. A similar name in an ad campaign back in the 90s with scratch and sniff stickers, but of course this is going to be spelled different, but I don't know, what the laws would allow or whatever, but anyway, but I'll still call it Smelly Telly for the, for the sake of my videos or whatever, okay? But anyway, that would be, different from the PolyDeo in the aspect that you don't have to use sound. In other words, it will be strictly a code-based system, a timer, code-based, reactive device, okay, as far as sending out smells, okay, into the air, like, because these things are basically computerized air fresheners is basically what they are, but yet they can be kind of interactive. They can speak, they can, vibrate, and like I have mentioned in my other videos. So like if you want to know more, just watch my other videos about that. But anyway, the difference between the Smelly Telly and the PolyDeo is that it will be that strictly code related, whatever, whereas the PolyDeo will be voice activated. So it will respond to, if you say orange or apple or whatever, or dog, or if it hears a doorbell or a dog barking or whatever, it can react and send out smells and just, you know, do different things that would be entertaining and stuff like that based upon that. Okay. But your smelly telly, like I said, it would be code based, and it might, can vibrate and maybe even talk or whatever based upon the code that gets sent to it from whatever, like, whether it be the internet. And I definitely strongly believe that can be done through the internet, no problem. I feel like it could be done through my tower system idea. The networks could, set up their programming on a time-based system and send codes according to whatever show that they've got going on, whatever pops up within that show or whatever. They can send out these codes that way, and it can go through the whole digital file process that makes its way to your box that you've purchased. And then if you've got your device set up to that box, then it will receive that information that your box itself won't react to, your TV box. But this smelly telly device will know what to do with that code that gets sent out, okay? So it can interact and whatever. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel like that can work. So yeah, I mean, and of course, your Polydio, like I said, whatever program's playing on the TV or whatever, if somebody says Apple or whatever, it can pick that up and it can react. So that's how that would, be able to work even with just like regular over the air antenna TV. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay. So yeah, that's basically what I've got to say today. And I hate to beat a dead horse about certain things, but I do feel like maybe I've miscommunicated some stuff because when I've posted this stuff on different social media and stuff, I got some kind of confused reactions from people and everything, and I just wanted to explain it a little bit better. And of course, the more that I've thought about it, the more my ideas have evolved and all that stuff, and the more I learn about things and whatever, then I see that it's definitely doable. I mean, it's it is. It really is. So, but anyway, I'm going to go for now. Bye.